prophet is supposed to meet. Now, arguing with the quest giver is a different situation entirely. In a flash, he punches her in the face and breaks her nose.
But that escalated quickly.
That escalated very quickly. Hey everyone, in this video we'll be reading out your D&D drama stories, so we hope you enjoy. You might need coffee for this one. A DM's nightmare. A friend of mine wanted me to run a solo campaign for him, and I was happy to do so. About 2 sessions later, I told him I was not having fun anymore running this campaign only for him, and would like to bring in others to play as well. He agreed, and a mutual friend of ours joined our campaign. I haven't done many solo D&D.
Yeah, I usually do solo campaigns for when you're starting a campaign, but you don't.
But that's not really.
Yeah, that's
solo
that's for
D&D.
character development.
Yeah, that's more
I don't know about solo campaigns.
Yeah. The next session began, and I gave them both notes containing a message. The message is as follows: you had a strange dream of a particular location and felt called to that place. There you will meet a new ally, aka the other player. After that, both players get there, and player 2 starts to express how he was called to that place to meet an ally, asking player 1 if that is him. Player 1 says no. He said that he didn't know what player 2 was talking about, and that he had never had any prophetic dreams. That's a recipe for disaster.
To be fair, okay, the DM did that very well with bringing in the other player, but also he went from a guy that wanted to play a solo campaign. That's main character syndrome.
It's giving spoilt behavior. Like, you've gotten the DM's attention.
The guy wanted a solo campaign, the DM gave him one, but the reason why he wanted it is because he wanted to be the main character.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, that was mean of the player. Anyway.
No, it's just it makes things difficult. If you're gonna go against what the DM laid out for you,
yeah, but I mean, to be fair, he did agree to playing with another player. So
yes,
that's just rude.
Player 2 is kind of put off by this, as am I, since I told them before the session even started that this was going to be a simple way to allow the two of them to meet up and accept the same quest, triggering the start of the actual adventure. Player 1, however, keeps pushing back, arguing that their characters have nothing in common. Then he starts making deception checks to hide the truth and refuses to tell Player 2's character his name and so on. Fed up by this, Player 2 declared that he was leaving. My gosh.
I mean,
but that's it's fair to Player 2 for wanting to leave. I'd also be like that.
If you come down, sit down in a game, and the other player doesn't welcome you, that's just
and he's also he's also not he's not considering everybody else. He's not considering the other player or the DM.
Again,
he's being very ardently against
main character syndrome.
Yes.
Before
he did so, I then intercede and have the NPC prophet, who was the cause of the dreams, appear and give them both the main quest in a much more railroady way than I liked, but things had to keep moving. Player 1 then starts an argument with the NPC, denying ever being called and that it isn't him that the prophet is supposed to meet. Now, arguing with the quest giver is a different situation entirely. Imagine the NPC's questioning himself. He's like, do I not recognize you? Did I give? He looks through his list of names. Did I give it to the wrong person?
So he's upset, obviously, because he's not the main character, but he's arguing that he's not the main character.
Yeah. That is crazy.
So I mean, he can always be demoted to side character or NPC.
That is true. That's when I ask OOC why he is doing this. He responds flat out by saying, for no reason. His character just doesn't like Player 2's character and doesn't think this is a good idea. Player 2 then erupts, and a 30-minute shouting match about how one was rude, etc. took place, and that campaign ended.
I would end it pretty swiftly.
That's what my character would do.
My character
would do. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I now stick to a hard and fast rule of no solos, and Player 1 basically does not play at all anymore, since no one will run a game just for him.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep, that was a bunch of it's what my character would do and main syndrome. It's sad though that he's not running any more solo campaigns. Okay, I understand solo campaigns, but do some solo sessions because
solo sessions are different from campaigns though, because campaign is like a campaign. A session is like one session.
Solo sessions really help build and get you as the DM and the player
more comfortable
working
in their
together
skin,
and working with the character.
And also, if you're like starting a new character for a new campaign, those sessions are very important to test if you maybe put different stats somewhere, or if you made a mistake in character creation. You know, those things would weed themselves out.
Iron out the rough stuff before you hit the group. And then you will just develop more rough stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that session 0?
No, that's not session 0. Session 0 is when
the whole group
when the whole group comes together, but you don't play as in you start the story.
It's more of a test run
to make sure that everyone in the group knows what's going on
and they gel well together and this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes a nose needs to be broken.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Listen to the story. I've shared this story before on here, but I'll give it another go. It's a lengthy one, so grab your popcorn.
He wants to share it.
He wants to share it, but this...
My first post didn't get enough traction. Here's the next one.
I probably should have said this before, but these stories are from Reddit, so that's why he's saying he's posted there before. I was in a really tense 3-man group. Our 3 characters had diametrically opposed moralities and rarely saw eye to eye. One character was a dark, scary, power-seeking individual. He wasn't evil, mind you. Yeah, logic there.
Dark, scary, power-seeking individual. Wonder what category that falls into.
Definitely not evil.
No.
He joined the party so that he could learn more about the magical powers we were trying to combat. Having said that, the guy had no problems hurting or killing people. He was absolutely ruthless. Your logic is not logicking. How is he not an evil character if he's ruthless, bloodthirsty,
and has no
guys,
I'm okay, you know. I'm good.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, he's definitely the hero. My character was the idealistic leader. He had a big heart and was in it for no other reason than to fix things. Oh, it's one of the
Dad's character.
The third character was extremely pragmatic. He had a rather involved backstory that tied him to the campaign and was always the favorite when it came to doing what was best for the progress of the story.
He's the one that gave the DM 5 pages of backstory.
Probably. Yeah. He definitely couldn't be me. We traveled with a number of NPCs. An important one that needs mentioning is a young priestess. She is of the same faith as Player 1's dark character. Despite the similarity, they have a very intense relationship, a real love-hate type of thing. She has morals, and he doesn't.
The dark guy has morals.
No, she has morals, he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
See, it's logicking to some degree, okay? Another common standing is that she is mostly an outsider like him. She's a very manipulative character, and my idealistic good guy party leader was easy prey for those manipulations, most of the time. But more on that later. Sounds like a colorful group.
The big eyes and the lashes.
Yeah. The group was preparing to take a very lengthy boat trip across the sea with a handful of NPCs with us. Prior to arriving at the docks, the dark character learned of a mass grave from which he could acquire some sort of new magic if he disturbed it. That's never a good idea. Disturbing graves is like on top of the list of highly recommend you don't do.
Thinking of branching out into necromancy, great spot.
Yeah, sure. I don't approve. He brings this information before the group, demanding that we delay the trip for his own selfish gains. My character and the priestess are ardently against this. I wonder why.
Demanding, wow.
After denying his request, he storms off below deck. The priestess NPC follows and attempts to give him a piece of her mind, reaffirming her position. In a flash, he punches her in the face and breaks her nose. Wow, everyone else above deck hears the commotion and becomes aware of the situation. For my character, this event was a breaking point.
That's not the only thing that broke, apparently. But that escalated quickly.
That escalated very quickly. For months we have been traveling together, and just about every character we met ardently inquired as to why my character keeps him around. The guy clearly has ulterior motives, but my character always covered for him. He is by far the most powerful character in the group and has single-handedly saved the party from certain demise multiple times.
Yes. Life debt.
Yeah, when the guy you don't like happens to be like the most powerful
I'm just picturing when he said like why is he hanging out with him? The dark edgy character in the corner of the room just like playing with a knife. The good paladin guy just going, yeah, I'm with him. He's just like.
Yeah, but like people ask him like, why do you keep him around? He clearly has ulterior motives, right?
What? No, he's fine.
Yeah, he's an amazing character. It feels like a little stab in the back. Yeah, he's a great person. He's a great person. I promise you, if you give him a chance. Beyond that, it's overwhelmingly clear that he is important. He has a role to play. Despite this important position, his consistent derailments for power are becoming genuinely destructive. Oh wow, really? It has always been tolerable until now. This time, he went too far. It took breaking a nose.
I mean...
out of all the things he mentioned, breaking a nose doesn't seem like the worst.
Yeah, he wanted to go and dig up grave site, and breaking the nose was the breaking point.
Just...
Continue.
Blinded by fury, my character beat the dark character unconscious. After that situation, we moved him to a bunk and finished preparing to leave. When he awoke, he hastily went about gathering his things, preparing to abandon the group, but the priestess approached him. As I touched on earlier, the priestess is far from normal. Her and this dark character are definitely outsiders. She doesn't get along terribly well with the rest of the group. Despite their really intense and conflicted relationship, he is the closest thing she has to a friend. As mentioned before, she is very manipulative. Up until now, she has led my good guy character around by his nose. But lately, my character has been spending a good amount of time with a new lady friend. As a result, the priestess NPC saw this woman as competition, realizing that her grasp on him was slipping. So when the dark character punched her, not only was it a betrayal, because despite all odds he was her only friend, but she also saw her last real vestige of influence over the group fade. When manipulation doesn't work anymore. It's a truly sad
it gets
moment.
old really fast.
Yeah, it's a very tricky thing to do.
If you roll a bunch of nat 20s, it should be fine.
Well, she didn't sound like she was rolling, so that's probably why she failed.
Yes, probably.
In fury, she approached him from behind and slit his throat.
Oh, there we go.
There's a lot of escalation in here.
Yeah, went from nose punches to slitting of throats.
Yeah. This is
still in the same session, right?
Yeah, it's in the same D&D session. The DM, not wanting to insta-kill a party member, gave him a shot. Well, he rolled a natural 20.
The dice saved him.
Yes. The priestess comes topside and finds my character. She walked up to him hysterical, crying, confessing, and begging for help. The aforementioned
crocodile tears.
Yes. The aforementioned pragmatic character finds the dark character and barely saves his life. He comes topside and finds my character and the priestess. When he informs us that the dark character is still alive, the priestess loses her mind. She believes he has reanimated his corpse, something we have seen him do before.
Yikes. That's where the necromancy
he's already
comes
into
in.
necromancy, from what it sounds like. She is enraged. You had no right. She attempts to call on her god.
No right for what? To
survive.
Come back to life?
to live, apparently. Not really a god, rather a super strong ancient character. Long story. To strike him down.
Okay.
But her god was watching with popcorn. No, it doesn't say it, but and had different plans. He chose the party over her. He appeared, killed the priestess, and vanished.
Okay.
Short interaction there.
Definitely not seeing any storyline from the DM coming that way.
Yeah, I feel like making a deal with like an ancient god that's a bad guy. You can't be surprised if they stab you in the back.
If you make a deal with the deity of death or trickery, don't expect to be dealt a fair hand.
No, you kind of asked for it, man. My character, not really knowing what had just happened, assumed that the dark character was behind it. Again, they are of the same faith. So my character goes below deck completely out of control. This is it. This ends now. He intends to kill the guy. Despite the dark character barely being alive, with what strength he had left, he summoned copies of himself and we did battle.
The amount of I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, a lot of people want this guy dead, man. It was incredibly close, but my character came out on top, but just barely. As I move in to finish him off, the pragmatic character grabs my character on the shoulder and attempts to stab him through the chest from behind.
Oh.
He is mid-stroke when another NPC screams for him to stop, and he does. I think before the damage is done. He doesn't specify here. As with the God character a few minutes prior, the pragmatic character was also watching, and he also made a choice. The dark character was the one. He was the one to finish this campaign. He was more powerful, more involved in things, and far more knowledgeable. If one of us had to die, it would be my character.
Oh.
My character was simply less valuable in the grand scheme of things. It's so hurtful.
That's gotta hurt.
So painful.
Yeah.
I'd like to think my character's important. But
Sure, easier, sure. Okay.
But yeah, knowing your character is not the most important character hurts.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
For my character, this is very disappointing. I feel you, buddy, I feel you. All this time, he had fancied himself the leader, the one, the hero. But in this moment...
I can actually see why he needed to be taken down a few notches.
Hey, but everyone thinks that. Everyone thinks their character is the hero, the one, the only. But in this moment, it becomes overwhelmingly apparent what has happened, and his role becomes much more clear. He might not be the guy who saves the world, but he's the guy who holds the group of people together who might one day be able to do so. Killing the dark character would betray everything he set out to do. At least he has a wholesome role in the party.
Well, I mean, yeah.
This is all very disarming, and my character throws his weapon on the ground and goes topside. Skipping ahead several months, this session echoed through the rest of the game. Those realizations turned out to be correct. The dark character was, in fact, the one who everything fell upon when it reached the 0 hour. He would reclaim his former power from a former life, and with that power he would reset a proverbial doomsday clock. All while my character was basically the party mantle. He was the guy onto which our various NPC companions latched. Okay, so OP's character is basically the wholesome guy who keeps everyone together, all the NPCs love him, and the dark character, the dark character's overpowered. He has like his former power from a former life. Like he got a whole different life.
The proverbial doomsday clock.
Like he controls time now. I feel like this is slightly rigged. Hear me out. I feel like there's a slight imbalance in power.
I actually think it's a nice storyline for like the DM to have written that the good guy isn't always the one that's the hero saves everyone from the apocalypse.
The hero, the only.
Yeah. I think that's a nice like twist in the story.
I'm sure it is, but from a player's perspective, man.
Yes, I'm sure the player was hurt.
We all had a role to play. On that day, we learned some hard lessons about these roles. And in the end, the fate of the world was nearly sealed by a guy punching a girl in the nose. The end.
And the lesson you can take away from that is don't punch people.
Yeah, try not to. Try not to kill your fellow party members too. That's like a small thing that you might not want to do.
Don't punch people in the nose because you may end the world.
The world as you know it comes crumbling down. Yeah, but that was a very interesting story. I really enjoyed it. The lore was very interesting.
Yeah, no, it did. I liked how the storyline went.
And the characters were very interesting too. We didn't hear much from the pragmatic one except the stab.
Yeah, no, I forgot that there was a third guy.
Yeah, I also forgot halfway. I was like, oh, there's the pragmatic character.
He's the one taking the notes.
Yeah, he's just the one watching. He's like, okay, if someone's gonna die, I'm gonna pick between. That was basically it. But yeah. So
Okay.
Those were the 2 stories. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it. I know we enjoy these stories. Yeah, if you guys want to see your stories read on here as well, you can check out Discord. The link is in the description below. And yeah, if you post your stories there, then we'll read it out.
Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for when we post another video. Until next time.
Yeah.
Namare Adventures.
I always have to do Namare Adventures. Namare Adventures. Namare Adventures.